Research generates new knowledge. Research also generates innovation, which can produce progress in society and better living conditions for mankind. I will start this lecture by discussing how society can set up an ecosystem which facilitates the progress from research to innovation. The ecosystem involves three main entities: governments, industry, and academia. Bilateral interactions between these entities are shown in this figure. If they occur properly, they may foster and accelerate economic and social development. This is also called the triple helix model. The first interaction mechanism consists of incentivizing research in certain priority areas where there is a special need and where potential benefits are expected. For example, the European Union, in consultation with stakeholders from industry, academia, and other sectors of society, issues multi-annual work programs and solicits researchers to apply for funding with proposals that focus on certain predefined themes. The themes are chosen according to their societal priority. The current EU Research and Innovation Programme is called Horizon 2020 and covers 7 years from 2014 to 2020. This is a top-down approach which directs researchers to address selected relevant themes. It complements the classical bottom-up approach where researchers are free to propose research themes purely based on their own intellectual interests. Another fundamental mechanism is human capital investment. Governments and industry provide scholarships to students who may be involved in research programs as PhD students or research assistants. Upon completion of their scholarship, those who move to industry or other sectors spread the new ideas they have been exposed to into the world. Recognition and protection of intellectual property is another important mechanism to support innovation. Governments play a fundamental role in their interaction with industry and academia in establishing intellectual property laws and enforcing them. This applies in particular to ownership of research results that produce a novel device, a method, or process. Patents are granted by national or regional patent office. A patent right is granted in exchange for a public disclosure of the invention that enables its exploitation by others. A patent owner has the right to exclude others from making, using, selling, and importing the invention for a given period of time. Under agreements within the World Trade Organization, WTO, patent policies are established in all its member states. Different countries, however, may differ in the way patenting is regulated. For example, consider the typical case where a research institution is funded by a government agency through public money, and funded research leads to a patentable result. Who owns the right to patent? To facilitate transition from research to practical innovations, in several countries, including the USA, research institutions are allowed to file, own, and license the intellectual property generated with government research funds. In this case, the researchers who originated the patent are often given a share of royalty revenue. In certain countries, for example in Italy, the individual researchers own the right of their inventions, but the research institution handles the licensing to third parties and remunerate the owners. The objective of a patent system is to incentivize research that can lead to exploitable inventions, to disclose them and invest the money necessary to experiment, produce, and market them. It is fair to say, however, that there are critical views that claim that patents block innovation and waste resources, for example, with patent-related overheads that could instead be invested in innovations. Another mechanism to favor the transition from research to innovations is to support entrepreneurship through spin-offs. Research institutions increasingly incentivize research groups to capitalize on their inventions by creating new companies that bring to the market the application of their scientific and technological inventions in new products, services, processes, or platforms. Research institutions may hold a part of the capital share and potentially generate new opportunities for research funding. Academic institutions, often in cooperation with local government, may also support the creation of startup companies through incubators. Typically, an incubator offers opportunities and support facilities to creative individuals, for example, PhD students, to try innovative business ideas by starting a new entrepreneurial venture. Experience shows that startups do have high rates of failure, but the minority that have gone on to be successful includes companies that have become large and influential. This discussion shows that contemporary research has constant interaction with society and the real world. The myth of the ivory tower, where researchers work in isolation from facts and practicalities, on abstruse theories and in secluded laboratories, is far from reality. Research is deeply rooted in the real world. The real world is the source of the problems investigated by researchers, and their results are transferred to the world in terms of new knowledge and innovations. The continuous interaction between research and society, which has happened since the scientific revolution in the early 17th century, has been accelerating at a very high speed in recent times. The transformation from the industrial society into the information society has taken place in a few decades. The need for researchers to engage with society became stronger and stronger. Because the results of their scientific work can change the world, researchers need to engage with society in discussing goals and directions and setting priorities. On the one hand, researchers have the responsibility to explain the results of science to the general public, to help people understand the changes generated by research in a correct and not distorted way. On the other hand, researchers must be ready not only to address the challenges of difficult technical problems, but also by ethical problems raised by the potential effects of their research on the world in which we live.